Hello friends and welcome to Pendulum Edu. Today we'll be discussing daily current affairs of 22nd July 2020. So guys, quickly join this session and also ask your friends to join this session. We are about to start, and those who have not subscribed to our channel Pendulum Edu, please subscribe it, and you can also join us on our Telegram channel. Now let's see the first news. Inauguration of India's first public electric vehicle charging plaza at Chelmsford Club, New Delhi. Recently, the Minister of Power, New and Renewable Energy R.K. Singh has inaugurated India's first public EV charging plaza in New Delhi, and this is the first electric vehicle charging plaza of its kind in India. The Energy Efficiency Services Limited, that is EESL, in association with New Delhi Municipal Council, that is NDMC, has set up this public EV charging plaza, and this plaza it will facilitate 5 types of electric vehicle chargers of various specifications. And on the same occasion, the minister launched a retrofit of air conditioning to improve indoor air quality for the safety and efficiency, that is RAISE National Program. So this RAISE National Program, it is basically aim to improve the indoor air quality for its safety and efficiency by retrofitting of air conditioning. Now let us know something about EESL. So this EESL, it is 100% government owned, and it is a super energy service company. So EESL, it is a super energy service company, and it is 100% government owned, and it is a joint venture. So this EESL, it is a joint venture of NTPC, Power Finance Corporation, REC Limited, and Power Grid. So it is a joint venture of 4 companies, that is NTPC, Power Finance Corporation, REC Limited, and Power Grid. And also, if we talk about EESL, so various programs are being launched by EESL, which it is the implementing agency for various programs like Ujala scheme, Unnat Jyoti, affordable LEDs for all. This aims at providing affordable LEDs to the people. And another scheme which is SLNP, that is Street Lightning National Program. So this program, this was launched in 2015, and this Ujala scheme was also launched in 2015. And this Street Lighting National Program aims at installing all the LED lights in the streets. And one more program is there which is run by EESL, that is Energy Efficient Buildings Program. Energy Efficient Buildings Program. So this program aims at making the buildings energy efficient. So this was all about EESL. Now let us see a question related to the news. Where is the India's first public electric vehicle charging plaza inaugurated? New Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, and Kolkata. Quickly comment the correct answer. Where is the first public electric vehicle charging plaza has been inaugurated? The correct answer is option A, that is New Delhi. Moving forward to the next news. Mano Darpan initiative has been launched by Ministry of Human Resource and Development, and this initiative, it is a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And with the word you can understand that this is Mano Darpan, that is, it provides psychosocial support through various activities to students for their mental health and well-being. So it aims at encouraging students to talk if they have any issues which is related to which can improve their mental health or their well-being. So this is a Mano Darpan initiative which was launched by Ministry of Human Resource and Development. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of HRD has taken this step on the educational front due to the need to focus on continuing education and mental well-being of the students. And there are other initiatives that were recently launched by Human Resource Development Ministry. So one was Pragyata. These were the guidelines. These are the guidelines for digital education. So it is it's steps were there in Pragyata, and it mainly highlights the guidelines for digital education, that the students from various standards, how many hours of classes should be attended by those, and what should be the curriculum. So this was all given in this Pragyata. And one more program, that is first online Nishtha program. This was also in news, Nishtha program. This was launched for Andhra Pradesh teachers and heads of school. So this Nishtha program, it aims at holistic development of school heads and teachers. And for the first time, this is the first online Nishtha program was launched for Andhra Pradesh teachers and heads. And one more program, that is Fit India Talks. In association with Sports Ministry, this Fit India Talks was organized by Ministry of HRD, in which eminent sports person, they talked with school children, they shared their experience with the school children to motivate them. So this was Fit India Talks. So these were some of the initiatives which were in news and were launched by Ministry of HRD. Now moving forward, let's see a question. Recently, which ministry has launched the Manodarpan initiative? Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Women and Child Development. Quickly comment the correct answer. Which ministry launched the Manodarpan initiative? The correct answer is option B, that is Ministry of HRD. Moving forward to the next news, Indian Navy and US Navy conducted an exercise named PAS-X in the Indian Ocean region, and US Navy Carrier Strike Group led by US Nimitz and Indian Navy, they conducted this maritime exercise, and the objective of this exercise to further enhance interoperability between the navies of the two countries. Nimitz Carrier Strike Group is on track to be deployed in the Gulf region from the South China Sea. The Indian Navy had recently conducted similar joint exercises with Japanese and French Navy. So this passing exercise or PAS-X, this was also conducted with the Japanese Navy and French Navy, and now it has been conducted with US Navy in answer to the China's aggressive policy. PAS-X or passing exercise is a practice which is conducted between the two navies, and this ensures that Navy is able to communicate and cooperate in times of war or humanitarian relief. So such type of exercises, these are majorly conducted to further enhance the interoperability between the two navies of the countries, or if it is a military exercise, then to enhance the interoperability between the two militaries of the countries. Now let us know something more about the other naval exercises which India and other countries conduct. So first one is Malabar exercise. This was also in news, Malabar exercise. So it is conducted between US, Japan and Indian Navy. Okay, then next is Varuna. This is also a naval exercise which is conducted between Indian and French Navy. Okay, next is SLEENEX, that is Sri Lankan Navy and Indian Navy. These both conducts this SLEENEX exercise. Then next is Indra. From name you can identify IND in India and RA for Russia, Indra. So Indian and Russian Navy conducts this exercise. Such type of exercises are important because questions are asked from this part. Then next is Milan exercise. This was also in news. This is important because for the first time many participants were there from the foreign countries. So total 30 participants were there. 30 foreign participants were there. So it is a multilateral naval exercise. Milan is a multilateral naval exercise, and it is hosted by Indian Navy. And for the year 2020, 30 participants were there from various countries. And another is SIMBEX. So this SIMBEX exercise, it is conducted between Singapore Navy and Indian Navy. So this is a major list of the exercises which take place between Indian Navy and other countries' Navy. Malabar, US, Japan and Indian Navy. Varuna, Indian and French Navy. Srinex, Sri Lanka and Indian Navy. Indra, Indian and Russian Navy. Milan exercise, which is a multilateral naval exercise. It is conducted by Indian Navy. And Simbex, which is conducted between Singapore and Indian Navy. Now let's see a question related to the news. Passing exercise or PASSEX is a dash exercise, aerial, military, naval and tri-services. So what will be the correct answer for this? Quickly comment. So the correct answer is option C, that is, it is a naval exercise. Moving forward, the title of Dekho Apna Desh webinar series, The Mystical Triangle, Maheshwar, Mandu and Omkareshwar, was recently organized. And this Dekho Apna Desh webinar series, it is an attempt to showcase India's rich diversity under Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. And this webinar, it will showcase the richness of sites falling under the mysterious triangle at Maheshwar, Mandu and Omkareshwar in Madhya Pradesh. So as we know that Madhya Pradesh is famous for its various sites, like there is Sachi Stupa. Sachi Stupa is there in Madhya Pradesh. Then Kandariya Mahadev temple is there. And recently news Mahakal temple. This is also located in Madhya Pradesh. Then Bhimbetka caves. Bhimbetka caves, these are also located in Madhya Pradesh. Then Khajuraho group of temples. Khajuraho group of temples, group of monuments you can say. So these are also located in Madhya Pradesh. So Madhya Pradesh is very famous. Then Amarkantak is also there in Madhya Pradesh. So these are various sites, or these are various monuments you can say, which are very famous worldwide, and people come to visit such places in Madhya Pradesh, and the tourism is boosted due to these places. And also Gwalior Fort, how can we forget that? Gwalior Fort, it is also located in Madhya Pradesh. So therefore our title of Dekho Apna Desh webinar series, which is on Madhya Pradesh, it consists of Maheshwar, Mandu and Omkareshwar. Since these places are also very important, Maheshwar or Maheshmati, it is one of the quiet places of historical importance, and it is 90 km away from the city of Indore. Indore is the largest city of Madhya Pradesh. And we all know that this city has bagged the first rank in Smart Cities mission in the last few years. Lord Shiva is known as Maheshwara. The city was named after Lord Shiva, and the great epics Ramayana and Mahabharata also mentions Maheshmati. And Omkareshwar, it has 33 deities and 108 impressive Shiva Lingas, and it is the only Jyotirlinga which is located on the northern bank of the Narmada. Mandu is mainly known for the love story of Sultan Baz Bahadur and Rani Roopmati. Baz Bahadur's palace, built in 16th century, is famous for its large hall and courtyard surrounded by high terraces. So this was all about the webinar series which was conducted online. Let's see a question related to the news. Recently, the Ministry of Tourism has organized the series Dekho Apna Desh webinar titled The Mystical Triangle, Maheshwara, Mandu and Omkareshwar. This triangle belongs to which state? Kerala, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Quickly comment the correct answer. Such type of questions are asked from art and culture. So what will be the correct answer for this? Option C, that is Madhya Pradesh. Moving forward, COVID-19 vaccine, which is developed by the Oxford University, it gave promising results in human trials. And this COVID-19 vaccine, it is called CHAdOx1 nCoV-19, and this is developed by AstraZeneca and the UK's Oxford University. Early stage human test data of a vaccine suggests that it is safe and it induces an immune response. Mild side effects have been observed in only a few participants. The study revealed that 90% of the people involved developed antibodies to neutralize the virus after one dose. So basically the people who were tested, 90% of them, they developed antibodies that can neutralize virus after one dose. The vaccine has been developed using genetically engineered virus that causes common cold in chimpanzees. So basically this vaccine, it contains the virus which has been genetically engineered, and this virus causes common cold in chimpanzees, and now this is being tested for COVID-19, and this is under human trial. Let's see what promising results it's going to yield. And similarly, two vaccines from India are in race. Name them quickly. What are the name of those vaccines? The first one is Covaxin and the second one is ZyCoV-D. So these are the two vaccines which are going under human trials, and let's see what will be the result for these two. Moving forward, CHAdOx1 and COVID-19 is the COVID-19 vaccine which is developed by which country? Britain, USA, France and India. Quickly comment the correct answer. The correct answer is option A, that is Britain. Moving to the next news, Youth Affairs Secretary Usha Sharma signed a statement for partnership with UNICEF India, Yuva India and the United Nations in India. So recently, the Secretary of Youth Affairs, Usha Sharma, she has signed a statement of intent. So first of all, what is this statement of intent? So it is a formal statement that the author has a serious intention of doing something under specific conditions at a specific time. So this is a statement of intent. I repeat, it is a formal statement that the author has a serious intention of doing something under specific condition at a specific time. And this statement of intent has been signed for partnership with UNICEF India, Yuva India and United Nations in India. This partnership leverages the efforts of both the ministry and the United Nations to work closely with youth to cooperate and implement large-scale solutions to address the challenges of education, skills and unemployment among India's youth. The following things will be discussed, will be focused under this partnership: to provide support to young people engaged in entrepreneurship, to develop skills among young people, to establish a relationship with aspirational social economic opportunities, promoting civics participation, providing assistance to youth for guidance, providing direct communication support, establishing feedback mechanisms between youth and policy-making stakeholders, and also seek cooperation between NSS and NYKS cadre and volunteer force on capacity building to achieve sustainable development goals. Talking about UNICEF, so UNICEF, it was formed in 1946. Its headquarters are located in New York, US. And it basically aims at providing humanitarian assistance for children. And UNICEF, the current head of UNICEF is Henrietta H. Fore. She is the current head of UNICEF. Moving forward, Godhan Nyay Yojana was started in Chhattisgarh. Recently in Chhattisgarh, the first of its kind Godhan Nyay Yojana has been started on the occasion of traditional festival of Hareli. So Hareli is an agriculture festival which is celebrated by many rural farming communities in Chhattisgarh. And on the occasion of this festival, the government has launched first of its kind initiative, that is Godhan Nyay Yojana. Under this Yojana, the government of Chhattisgarh will buy cow dung at rupees 2 per kg from livestock owners and will use it to prepare organic manure. And the women self-help groups, they will prepare vermicompost using this dung purchased under the scheme. And this vermicompost, it will be sold at the rate of rupees 8 per kg. So the cow dung will be procured by the government at rupees 2 per kg. Then it will be used for preparing vermicompost and other products by the women self-help groups. And then this vermicompost, it will be sold at the rate of rupees 8 per kg. So it will help the farmers, it will also help the women self-help groups, and it will also help the farmers, those who want to buy the organic manure. So it will add quality, it will add the nutrition to the cut. The state government will build cow sheds, gaushalas in all 20,000 villages in phases. These cow sheds are being developed as daycare centers for cattle. Godhan Nyaya Yojana, it will be implemented through these gaushalas only. So these cow sheds which are built, so under this Yojana only it will be implemented through these gaushalas. That is the cow dung which will be purchased, it will be purchased only through these gaushalas. Godhan Nyaya Yojana will not only help the cattlemen to earn additional income but will also end the problem of open grazing of cattle. So this will help many people, many stakeholders, that is cattlemen, livestock rearers, we can say. It will help women self-help group, empower them, will provide them income support, and then farmers, as they'll get the organic manure, vermicompost. Now let us see a question related to the news. Recently, in which state Godhan Nyaya Yojana has been started? Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Quickly comment the correct answer. Guys, keep commenting the correct answer. Hit the like button. If you have any doubt, please mention that in comment box. The correct answer is option C, that is Chhattisgarh. Let us know something more about Chhattisgarh. Its capital is Raipur. Chief Minister over here is Bhupesh Baghel. And Governor over here is presently Anusuya Uike. Now comment quickly that which river rises in the hills of Chhattisgarh? Which river rises in the hills of Chhattisgarh? Many questions are asked from a river part, so you should be prepared for that. Quickly comment which river rises in the hills of Chhattisgarh? Mahanadi River. Okay. Now let's see the next news. Inauguration of state's first mega food park in Zoram, Mizoram. Recently, Food Processing Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal inaugurated the state's first mega food park in Zoram, Mizoram. So Zoram is a place in Mizoram, and there the state's first mega food park has been inaugurated by the Ministry of Food Processing. And what is this mega food park? It is a mechanism. So the main aim of setting up this mega food park is to set up a mechanism to link agriculture production to market by bringing farmers, processors, retailers, etc. on the same platform. And this mega food park scheme, it is implemented under the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Ministry of Food Processing Industries. So this is the implementing ministry for this mega food park scheme, and this mega food park scheme, it was introduced in 11th plan to create modern infrastructure for food processing. Modern infrastructure for food processing. So this was launched during the 11th plan. There are many mega food parks in India, and this was the first mega food park which was inaugurated in Mizoram. This mega food park, it is equipped with a dry warehouse of 3000 metric ton capacity and a cold storage of 1000 metric ton. This mega food park will benefit farmers. All stakeholders will be benefited with this food park, that is farmers, producers, processors, consumers, and will prove to be a major boost for the development of food processing sector in the northeastern region. So this will act as the major boost for the development of food processing sector in the entire northeastern region. The mega food park will provide direct and indirect employment to 5,000 people, and it will also benefit around 25,000 farmers. The Zoram Mega Food Park will not only play an important role in connecting agriculture production to the market, but will also help to keep food spoilage to a minimum and prevent post-harvest losses. So the losses which occur due to the post-harvest losses and the spoilage of food due to the lack of warehouses and cold storage facilities, that will be removed now completely, because under this mega food park which is established in Zoram, then it will provide a facility of warehouses as well as cold storage facilities. So it will basically prevent food wastage. A total of 88 projects supported by the Ministry of Food Processing in the Northeast region have been approved and 41 have been implemented. If we talk about Mizoram, its capital is Aizawl. It lies north of Tropic of Cancer. And you can see the location of Mizoram over here. It shares its border with Bangladesh and Myanmar. So it shares its border with two countries, that is Bangladesh and Myanmar. And the Chief Minister of Mizoram, CM of Mizoram, is Zoramthanga. And the current governor over here is PS Sridharan Pillai. Okay, moving forward to the question part. Which of the following statements is not true? The first mega food park in the state has been inaugurated in Zoram, Mizoram. The capital of Mizoram is Aizawl, which lies to the south of Tropic of Cancer. So you have to tell that which statement is not true. One only, two only, both 1 and 2, none of the above. So what will be the correct answer for this? That option B is the correct answer. That is, the capital of Mizoram is Aizawl. This part is true, but it lies to the north of Tropic of Cancer and not south of Tropic of Cancer. Now moving forward, unique hand sanitizer G-Bands created by innovators from Gujarat Technological University. Recently, a unique hand sanitizer which is named G-Bands, it has been created by innovators from Gujarat Technological University. This band is formed using thermoplastic elastomers. So what is this thermoplastic elastomers? It is a diverse family of rubbers, like rubber-like materials, and it can be processed and recycled easily, and it is perfect for sealing. So it is basically used for sealing, and it can be processed and recycled. These bands can be used to sanitize by just pressing them by hand, and the G-Bands offer people a convenient option to maintain hand hygiene. One dose of liquid sanitizer once filled in the G-Bands, it can be sprayed more than 20 times a day. So this is very effective, that once you have filled this G-Band, then it can be sprayed more than 20 times a day. This product, it will be soon available for the public, and a petition has been filed for its patent. Now let's see a question related to the news. Recently, the unique hand sanitizer G-Bands has been developed by which organization or institute? Gujarat Technological University, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. So what will be the correct answer for this? Quickly comment. The correct answer is option A, that is Gujarat Technological University. ISC Bengaluru was in news because robotic arm controlled by eye movement. So a robot was developed which can be a robotic arm was developed which can be controlled by the movement of eye, and this was specially designed for the people with speech and motor disabilities. So that is why Indian Institute of Science Bengaluru was in news, and IIT Delhi was in news due to the development of CoroSure. This we have discussed many times. CoroSure, that it is a affordable COVID-19 test kit and this was designed by IIT Delhi, and this is based on RT-PCR test. Okay, moving to the next news. Madhya Pradesh Governor Lalji Tandon recently passed away and he died in Lucknow. He was only 85 years old. Tandon ji made invaluable contribution in service of the society. He has played an important role in strengthening BJP in Uttar Pradesh. He has been a member of the 15th Lok Sabha from Lucknow and he has been known as an associate of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has declared a 3-day state mourning expressing grief over the demise of Lalji Tandon. So he was the governor of Madhya Pradesh, Lalji Tandon. Now let's see a question related to the news. Recently Lalji Tandon passed away. He was related to which field? Politics, journalism, acting and painting. Quickly comment the correct answer. He died due to prolonged illness in the hospital in Lucknow. He was admitted a few days back. He was in ICU. The correct answer is option A, that is politics. He was the governor of Madhya Pradesh. Now let us move to the next news. Unique yellow colored turtle spotted in Balasore district of Odisha. So recently the turtle's pink eyes and its color indicate albinism. So a unique yellow colored turtle was spotted in Balasore district of Odisha, and the pink color of the eyes indicate that it is suffering from albinism. Albinism is a condition, it is a genetic disorder that leads to discoloration of eyes, hairs and also the skin, and recently a golden albino tiger, it was found in Kaziranga National Park. So quickly comment where is this Kaziranga National Park is located. We discussed it day before yesterday. Where is Kaziranga National Park located? Quickly comment. It is located in Assam. So from here 121 animals were rescued due to the flood in the Kaziranga National Park. So that is why it was in news. So it is an albino Indian flapshell turtle which are seen rarely. It is a rare species, but these are found all over India. These are rare because, and these are special because these are found all over India, but the chances of survival, their chances of survival is very less. Only 1 in 10,000 infants have albino, and only few survive due to this condition. In the condition of albinism, a person produces little or no melanin and the risk of skin cancer increases. Right now there is no treatment for albinism, but skin can be protected and the condition of the eyes can be treated if a person suffers from albinism. Now let us see a question related to the news. Where is the unique yellow colored turtle seen recently? Manipur, Karnataka, Odisha and Nagaland. Quickly comment the correct answer. The correct answer is option C, that is Odisha. And also an app was launched which was named Kurma app, which we discussed yesterday, that this app Kurma, it is for the conservation of turtles and tortoises. Okay. So this Kurma app, it is for the conservation of turtle and tortoises, and it was launched on the World Turtle Day, which is celebrated on 23rd May every year. So friends, here we have covered the daily current affairs and related questions. I hope you like this session. Please like the video, share it as much as you can, and if you have any doubt, you can mention that in comment box. Keep following daily current affairs. All the best. Thank you so much. We'll meet you again.